Imagine sitting in a meeting room. The clock is ticking, your coffee is getting cold, and you have a huge list of tasks waiting for you at your desk.
And then you realize something terrible. The meeting has been going on for 20 minutes, and the two people talking are actually arguing about completely different things.
We have all been there. It is a classic office nightmare. I am Rose, and welcome to English Through Situations.
And I am Jack. Today we are opening a new file in our English Through Workplace drama series. We are looking at a very common, very frustrating situation.
Exactly. Today's episode is called The Meeting That Went Wrong. We are going to see how one vague sentence from a manager can create total chaos for an entire team.
And more importantly, if you ever find yourself in a meeting like this, we're going to give you the exact English phrases you need to stop the confusion, clarify the goal, and get everyone back on track.
It is amazing how much time we waste at work just because we do not use the right words at the beginning of a conversation.
That is so true, Rose. Communication at work is not just about having perfect grammar. It is about making sure that the picture in your head is exactly the same as the picture in your colleague's head.
Well, in today's story, the pictures in their heads are very, very different. Are you ready to step into the meeting room?
Let's get started.
The story begins on a Monday morning. It is 9 a.m., and the marketing team at a software company is having their weekly catch-up meeting.
The team consists of 3 people. First, there is David. David is the team lead. He is always busy, always rushing, and sometimes he speaks a little too quickly.
Then there is Sarah. She is the content writer. She thinks about words, articles, and messaging all day long.
And finally, there is Tom. Tom is the lead designer. He is highly visual. He thinks in colors, layouts, and user interfaces.
They are all sitting in meeting room B. The meeting is only supposed to last 15 minutes, a quick update before everyone starts their week.
David opens his laptop, looks at his team, and says the sentence that starts all the trouble. He says, "All right, team, we have a problem with the new app launch. We need to completely update the project right now."
Update the project? That sounds big, but also very unclear.
Exactly. But David does not explain further. He just says, "The current version is not working. The executives are not happy. We need a fresh approach."
Sarah, the content writer, immediately panics. In her mind, the project means the marketing text. She thinks the executives hate her writing.
She quickly says, "I understand, David. I was worried the tone was too casual. I can rewrite the main landing page today and change the messaging to be more formal and professional."
But Tom, the designer, looks completely confused. In his mind, the project means the visual design of the app.
Tom shakes his head and interrupts Sarah. He says, "Wait, Sarah, the text is fine. The problem is the layout. The blue color scheme is too dark. We need to update the visual interface, make it brighter, and change the buttons."
So now Sarah is defending her words, and Tom is defending his designs.
Sarah says, "Tom, people don't care about the button colors if the message is wrong. We need stronger vocabulary."
And Tom replies, "Sarah, nobody reads the text if the app looks ugly. We have to redesign the homepage."
For the next 15 minutes, David just sits there, watching his 2 best employees argue. Sarah is talking about paragraphs. Tom is talking about pixels.
Finally, at 9:20 a.m., David claps his hands loudly. "Stop! Both of you, please stop!" he says.
Sarah and Tom freeze. The room goes quiet.
David sighs and rubs his eyes. "I am not talking about the website text, and I am not talking about the app design. The text and the design are both perfect."
Sarah and Tom look at each other, totally lost. "Then what are you talking about?" Tom asks.
David points to the calendar on the whiteboard. "I am talking about the timeline. We are 2 weeks behind schedule. When I said we need to update the project, I meant we need to update the project schedule. The executives are angry because we are late."
Sarah sinks into her chair. Tom closes his notebook. They just wasted 20 minutes arguing about things that were not even a problem.
And all because of one simple, unclear phrase. Update the project.
Wow, that is a perfect example of a meeting going completely off track.
It really is. And I feel so bad for Sarah and Tom. They were both trying to help. They were both ready to work hard, but they were running in the wrong direction.
This happens so often in international workplaces, especially when people are busy. We use broad, general words like project, update, or fix, and we assume everyone knows exactly what we mean.
Let's break this down, Jack. The main problem here is David's opening statement. He said, "We need to completely update the project right now."
Right. In business English, especially at a B1 or B2 level, we need to learn how to be specific. The project is too big. A project has many parts: a budget, a timeline, a design, a team, a marketing strategy.
So when David said project, Sarah heard words because she is a writer, and Tom heard design because he is an artist.
Exactly. We call this professional bias. We view problems through the lens of our own job. If you are a mechanic, every problem looks like an engine issue.
That makes sense. So, how could David have started this meeting better? How do you give bad news or urgent news without causing a panic?
The best way to start a meeting is to state the specific objective immediately. David should have attached a specific noun to the word project.
For example, the project schedule or the project timeline.
Yes, he could have said, "All right, team, we have a problem. We need to update the project timeline today because we are behind schedule."
Update the project timeline. It is only one extra word, but it completely changes the meeting. If he had said that, Sarah and Tom would not have panicked about their own work.
Exactly. But let's look at this from Sarah and Tom's perspective. It is not just David's fault. Sarah and Tom also made a communication mistake.
Really? What did they do wrong? They were just reacting to their boss.
They reacted by making assumptions. An assumption is when you believe something is true without checking the facts first.
Ah, I see. Sarah assumed David meant the text. Tom assumed David meant the design. Neither of them stopped to ask a clarifying question.
Yes, asking clarifying questions is one of the most important skills in workplace English. When a manager says something vague, it is your job to stop them and ask for details politely.
That is a great point. How can we do that politely? Sometimes it feels rude to interrupt your boss and say, "I don't understand."
You never want to say, "You are not clear," or "I don't know what you mean." Instead, you take the responsibility. You ask them to confirm your understanding.
Can you give me an example?
Sure, Sarah could have used this phrase. "Just to clarify, David, which part of the project are we updating?"
Oh, I love that. Just to clarify, it sounds very professional. It doesn't sound like you are attacking him. It sounds like you want to be accurate.
Exactly. Or Tom could have said, "Could you be a bit more specific? Are we talking about the design or the schedule?"
Could you be a bit more specific? That is a perfect B1 level phrase to memorize for any office job.
Now let's talk about the middle part of the story, the argument. Sarah and Tom argued for 15 minutes.
Yes, the classic meeting trap. Two people going down a rabbit hole while everyone else just watches.
When a conversation loses its main focus, we say it is going off topic or going off track.
And David just sat there for a long time. As the manager, he should have stopped them much earlier. How do you interrupt an argument like that professionally?
It can be uncomfortable to interrupt native speakers or colleagues who are talking very fast. You need a phrase that cuts through the noise, but remains polite.
Right. You can't just shout, "Stop!" like David did. That makes everyone feel bad.
The best phrase to use here is, let's get back on track. Or, I think we are getting a bit off topic.
I think we are getting a bit off topic. That is a very gentle way to say, you guys are talking about the wrong thing.
Yes, and then you immediately state the real goal. So David should have raised his hand and said, "Excuse me, I think we are getting a bit off topic. The design and the copy are fine. The main objective today is to fix the schedule."
The main objective. That is another strong phrase. It acts like an anchor to pull the meeting back to safety.
Absolutely. So, Rose, let's do a quick role play. Let's imagine we can rewind time. It's 9 a.m. again. Let's do the good version of this meeting. I will be David, and you can be Sarah.
I am ready. I will use the clarifying phrases we just learned.
All right, team. Thanks for joining. We have a bit of a situation with the new app launch. We need to completely update the project right now.
Okay, David. Just to clarify, when you say update the project, which part exactly are we looking at? Are there issues with the marketing content?
Oh no, Sarah. Your content is great. I should have been more specific. We need to update the project timeline. We are 2 weeks behind.
Ah, understood. That makes sense. So the main objective today is adjusting the calendar?
Exactly. Let's look at the dates and see where we can save some time.
Wow, that took about 30 seconds. No arguments, no panic, no wasted time.
That is the power of clear communication. By asking one simple question, just to clarify, you saved the whole team 20 minutes of stress.
I think one of the biggest fears for English learners is that if they ask questions, people will think their English is bad.
That is a huge misconception. Native speakers ask clarifying questions all the time. In fact, asking for clarity shows that you are a strong communicator. It shows you care about doing the job right.
It is much better to ask one small question at minute 1 rather than do the wrong work for an entire week.
Exactly. Never sit in a meeting feeling confused. If the boss says, "We need to fix the thing," you must ask, "Which thing specifically?"
This situation also highlights the importance of the phrase, to be on the same page.
Yes, to be on the same page is a great idiom. It means everyone in the group has the same understanding of a situation.
In our story, David, Sarah, and Tom were definitely not on the same page. They were reading completely different books.
Exactly. So, at the end of a meeting or at the beginning of a meeting, a good leader will say, "I just want to make sure we are all on the same page."
That is a fantastic way to check if everyone is ready to move forward. Okay, I think we have uncovered some really valuable lessons from this chaotic little meeting.
I agree. Now let's pull out the most important vocabulary from this discussion and make sure our viewers know exactly how to use it in their own workplaces.
Welcome to the Language Focus section. This is where we take the English from our story and put it directly into your professional toolkit.
We have selected 7 highly useful phrases from David, Sarah, and Tom's chaotic meeting. These are phrases you can use tomorrow in your own office.
Let's start with phrase number 1, to be behind schedule.
To be behind schedule means that a project is late. It is not moving as fast as planned.
In the story, David said, "We are 2 weeks behind schedule."
You use this phrase when you need to give an update on time. It sounds much more professional than just saying, "We are late."
Here is an example. We need to work faster because we are behind schedule. Now, repeat after us. To be behind schedule.
To be behind schedule.
Excellent. Phrase number 2 is a verb, to clarify, or the phrase, just to clarify.
To clarify means to make something clear or easier to understand. You use just to clarify when you want to politely ask a question to make sure you understand correctly.
Sarah should have used this phrase. She could have said, just to clarify, which part of the project are we updating?
Here is another example. Just to clarify, is the deadline on Friday or Monday? Now, repeat after us. Just to clarify.
Just to clarify.
Perfect. Phrase number 3. An assumption, or the action to make an assumption.
An assumption is something you think is true, but you have no proof.
In our story, Tom made an assumption that David was talking about the app design. He did not check the facts first.
You use this word when you want to point out that someone is guessing. For example, let's not make any assumptions before we see the data.
Repeat after us. To make an assumption.
To make an assumption.
Great job. Moving on to phrase number 4. To go off topic.
When a conversation goes off topic, it means people are talking about things that are not related to the main subject.
Sarah and Tom went off topic when they started arguing about button colors instead of the project timeline.
You can use this phrase to gently stop an irrelevant conversation. Example, I think we are going off topic. Let's focus on the budget.
Repeat after us. To go off topic.
To go off topic.
Phrase number 5 is the solution to going off topic. It is to get back on track.
To get back on track means to return to the correct subject or the original plan.
As a manager, David should have said, let's get back on track and discuss the schedule.
It is a very positive, forward-looking phrase. Example, we lost some time, but we are working hard to get back on track.
Repeat after us. To get back on track.
To get back on track.
Fantastic. Phrase number 6. The main objective.
The main objective is the most important goal of a meeting or a project.
Using the word objective sounds much more professional than just saying the main thing we want to do.
You use it to remind everyone why they are in the room. Example, the main objective of this meeting is to choose a new software provider.
Repeat after us. The main objective.
The main objective.
And our final phrase, number 7. To be on the same page.
This is a very common idiom. To be on the same page means that everyone agrees and has the same understanding of a situation.
At the beginning of the story, David, Sarah, and Tom were definitely not on the same page.
You can use this at the end of a discussion to check for understanding. Example, before we finish, I want to make sure we are all on the same page.
Repeat after us. To be on the same page.
To be on the same page. All right, we have reached my favorite part of the episode. It is time for the viewer question.
Today we talked a lot about misunderstandings and how easy it is to confuse your colleagues. Now, we want to hear from you.
Have you ever been in a meeting that went completely off track? Or have you ever received an unclear message from your boss?
We want you to practice your new professional communication skills. Look at this vague sentence from a manager. We need to fix the report today.
If your manager sent you that message, how would you politely ask them for more details?
Remember to use phrases like, just to clarify, or, could you be a bit more specific?
Write your best, most polite response in the comments below. We read all of them, and it is a great way to practice your workplace English.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's workplace drama.
We learned that one unclear word can cause a 20-minute argument, but one simple question can solve it in 30 seconds.
Remember, never be afraid to ask clarifying questions. It does not mean your English is bad. It means you are a strong, responsible professional who wants to do the job right.
And the next time a meeting starts going down a rabbit hole, you now have the exact vocabulary to say, let's get back on track.
If you found this episode helpful for your career or your English journey, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a colleague.
It really helps us create more content for you. Thank you so much for listening and practicing with us today.
You have been watching English Through Situations.
Real English, real situations, better conversations.
See you in the next episode.